After studying all the details of different types of models, starting from solver models right up to material flow models, we are now at the end of this session. Now we will see how to start the CFD calculations after all the model setup. Starting CFD calculations is known as running a simulation. Before starting any CFD calculations, we have to first provide an initial guess for all variables at all cell values. This is called as initial conditions and initialization. Initial conditions in a physics continuum specify the initial field data for the simulation. The initial conditions manager node contains the initial condition nodes for the continuum. Let us see in detail what we mean by initial conditions. What are initial conditions? Initial conditions in the continua specify the initial field data for the simulation. For steady state simulations, the converged solution should be independent of the initial field. However, the path to convergence and hence the computational effort that is required to reach convergence is affected. Therefore, choose the initial conditions and values judiciously, particularly when the physics is complex. Each model requires sufficient information for the primary solution data for the primary variables that are associated with the model to be set. In most cases, the initial conditions are set up directly. Examples of initial conditions are pressure, temperature, velocity components, and turbulence quantities. Let us see how to set up initial conditions. Initial conditions can be set in three ways: using constant values, using field function values, and using tabular data values. They can also be set for a particular region. To change the method, open the initial conditions node and then open the node for the relevant condition. In the properties window, click the drop-down list corresponding to the method property. Similar to initial guess, we also have to dictate to the software where it has to stop calculations. This is done by using the stopping criteria. You can use stopping criteria to control how the simulation runs. The stopping criteria manager node contains all of the stopping criteria nodes in the simulation tree. What are these stopping criteria? Stopping criteria allow you to specify how long the solution runs for and what conditions it stops iterating or marching in time. Each specified stopping criteria is evaluated at the completion of every simulation step, and a logical rule is used to determine if the interaction of all the criteria stops the solver. We saw that every CFD calculation requires initial conditions. In the earlier few slides, we saw how to provide initial conditions. But before we ask the software to begin the CFD number crunching, we have to apply all the initial conditions. This is called as initializing. Here, we will see how to manually initialize a simulation. If you want to visualize the initialized solution, initialize manually. To initialize, click the Initialize Solution button in the toolbar, or use the Solution, Initialize Solution menu item. If the solution has already been initialized, then this action has no effect. The final step in simulation setup is actually starting the CFD calculation. For this, we ask the software to begin simulation run. Once a simulation has been set up and there is a reasonable confidence that the setup is correct, solution iteration can commence. To start iterating, click the Run button in the toolbar. Press Ctrl R or use the solution Run menu item.